Okay, so we're diving into the Deborah Hunter case today. You ever get those stories, where everything seems like totally normal, but
hmm
then like underneath it all, there's this whole crazy web of secrets?
Oh, yeah, it's like those picture-perfect small towns, where everything looks so peaceful and innocent. But then, you look a little closer.
And bam, there's something creepy hiding just beneath the surface.
Exactly. And with Deborah's case, it's not just creepy, it's like full-on terrifying.
Right. I mean, we're talking about a mom devoted to her daughter, super active in her church. Everyone in her town loved her. Just a normal life in a small southern town.
Yeah.
And then gone, vanished.
Yeah.
It's
Yeah.
like nightmare stuff.
And that's what makes these disappearances so scary. It just shatters your sense of security. If someone like Deborah, who had such deep roots in her community, could just disappear, it makes you question everything.
Totally. You start looking at your own neighbors differently.
Yeah.
Like, do we ever really know anyone? We've got all these sources you provided, news articles, police reports, interviews. And the more we dig into them, the more it feels like we're just scratching the surface of something way bigger.
Yeah, and from the beginning, even the investigators knew something was off. This wasn't just a regular missing person case.
The clues were just too weird, too deliberate, like someone was trying to throw them off.
Exactly, like those late night calls to a Brunner phone
Right?
right before she disappeared.
Who does that if they're planning on coming back? It's like textbook premeditation.
Oh, absolutely. It's a huge red flag. For anyone who's not familiar with the term, a red herring is basically like a fake clue, something meant to mislead the investigators.
So are you saying that someone was trying to make it look like Deborah just ran away or something? Or like she was mixed up with some shady people?
Exactly. And it actually worked for a while. At first, they were looking at everyone she knew, her friends, her family.
Right.
But as the investigation went on, the clues started to point to something way darker, something more like a conspiracy.
Wait, hold on. So you're saying we're not just talking about a jealous ex or like a stalker or something. We're talking about like a group of people working together to make her vanish.
That's what the evidence suggests. It's a real possibility. Remember the surveillance footage they got of her car at the diner? It was just there 1 minute and gone the next. No sign of Deborah.
That part always freaked me out. It's like someone was watching her waiting for the right moment.
Right. And then there was that witness who said they saw someone following Deborah's car that night. So is that person part of the conspiracy? Or just some random person?
This is so messed up. So we've got weird phone calls, a vanishing car, a mysterious stalker. It's like a puzzle, but the pieces don't even fit together.
And then there are those footprints they found in the woods, leading away from where they last saw her. But then they just stop.
So it's like she just disappeared into thin air.
Yep. Another fake clue to confuse everyone.
But wouldn't someone who's like planning this big disappearance want to be as far away from the investigation as possible? Why even risk being close to it all?
That's a great question. It shows how bold the person behind all of this is. They weren't just trying to hide, they were manipulating the whole investigation.
So they were playing with fire.
Exactly. And as we keep going through the evidence, you'll see how far they were willing to go to keep their secrets hidden, and how Deborah, trying to figure it all out, is what led to her being taken.
This is getting really intense. I need to know more. Like, who is this mastermind? What were they trying to hide? What was so important that they would make someone disappear?
That's where it gets even darker. The letters they found hidden in her house, those weren't from a stalker. Those were warnings, threats, from someone who knew her really well, someone she trusted.
No way. Okay, now I'm really hooked. What did those letters say? Who are they from? And how does it all connect to her disappearance?
Well, to figure that out, we need to get into the head of a person who did this, all the connections they had, and the crazy truth that Deborah uncovered. We'll pick up the investigation in part 2, so stay tuned, because this is going to get way more twisted than you can imagine.
Oh, I'm definitely not going anywhere. But for those of you who can't wait to see all the evidence and figure this out yourselves, you have to check out the full-length video over it at True Crime Chronicles E8T. Trust me, it's a deep dive you won't forget. But for now, we're going to take a quick break. Be right back with the next chapter in the crazy disappearance of Deborah Hunter. All right, we're back and ready to dig deeper into those creepy letters they found in Deborah's house. Remember we were saying they were like warnings and stuff, right? From someone she knew, someone she actually trusted. What did those letters tell us?
Those letters, it was like looking right into the mind of whoever was behind all this. They were written super carefully, like trying to scare her and make her feel alone. But there were also these little clues, hints about a much bigger conspiracy going on.
Oh, okay. Give me an example. What kind of clues?
Well, one of them mentioned this project, like something super secret that Deborah had found out about. It talked about these powerful people, people with a ton of influence, and what would happen to her if she messed with their plans.
Whoa. So it wasn't just some personal grudge then. This project sounds like a way bigger deal with like way higher stakes.
Exactly. It's like Deborah accidentally stumbled upon this secret group operating in the shadows, doing their own thing, and they were not going to let anyone, especially Deborah, expose them.
Dude, this is like setting off all my true crime alarms. A secret society operating right under our noses. That's some real spy thriller stuff.
It's definitely a disturbing thought, but when we look at all the evidence, it kind of starts to make sense. Remember those messages the investigators found? The ones that were all coded?
Yeah, the ones that were talking about some secret deal or something, right?
Oh.
You mentioned them in the first part of our deep dive.
Right. Well, turns out those messages weren't just between Deborah and the person she wrote about in her diary. There were more people involved, talking in code, using like super high-tech encryption stuff.
Hold up. So we've got a secret project, a network of like secret messages, and a group of people who really want Deborah to just go away. This is sounding more and more like a real conspiracy.
And the way they were manipulating everything is insane. They used what they knew about the investigation to plant fake clues and create all these distractions. They wanted it to look like Deborah was the bad guy, but really she was the one trying to expose them.
Wow. It's like they were playing chess and everyone else was playing checkers.
Exactly. They were always steps ahead, like they knew what the investigators were going to do next, and they used their connections and their power to control the whole story.
But they made one mistake.
Right.
They didn't think Deborah would be so determined. She knew something was wrong. She knew they were coming for her, and she left clues. Her diary.
That diary was like a key. It unlocked the whole conspiracy. It had names, dates, locations, everything matched up with those secret messages and pointed right to whoever was calling the shots in their little crew.
So Deborah's own investigation into this secret society, that's what got her in trouble. But it's also what brought them down in the end.
That's right. She was a victim, but she was also a fighter. She wouldn't stay silent, and because of that, justice was served.
This is so incredible. It just shows that even when you're up against these powerful people, one person who stands up for the truth can make a huge difference.
It's the power of, not giving up and speaking out against what's wrong. But there's still more to the story. We still need to find out, like, the details of this project, why Deborah had to disappear, and just how far this whole thing goes.
Dude, this is getting good. We have to crack open this project and find out what really happened to Deborah.
We will.
Yeah.
But to really get what Deborah uncovered, we got to go right to the heart of this thing. The people involved, their connections, and the crazy events that led to her,
Yeah.
Well.
Okay, I am so ready for the next level of this deep dive. But for those of you who are like me and can't wait to unravel this whole conspiracy, go check out the full-length video at True Crime Chronicles EK8. It's got everything you need, evidence, interviews, experts. It'll blow you away. But right now, we need to take a second and regroup, because what we're about to reveal is some seriously disturbing stuff. All right, so we're back, and things are getting seriously real with this Deborah Hunter case. We've got a secret society, this crazy project with super powerful people involved, and a conspiracy that just keeps getting deeper. But what was this project? Like, what were they actually doing, and why was Deborah such a threat to them?
Well, you remember those, cryptic conversations they found on the dark web? The investigators were able to trace those back to a bunch of shell corporations and offshore accounts. That's how the conspiracy was working, moving their money around, funding all their shady stuff.
Whoa. Hold up. You said dark web. Can you explain that a little bit for anyone listening who might not know what that is?
Sure. Think of it as a hidden part of the internet, You need special software to get there, and pretty much anything goes, no rules. That's where all the illegal stuff happens, drugs, weapons. And in this case, our secret society cooking up their schemes.
So they were using the dark web to talk to each other without being tracked and to move money around. That's next level stuff.
Yeah. And it shows you just how powerful these people were. They knew how to stay hidden for years. But Deborah, she was so determined, she found their digital trail, and that's what made them target her.
Okay, but what about the project itself? What were they actually doing?
Well, Deborah kept really good records in her diary. And when you put that together with what the investigators found, a pretty scary picture starts to emerge. It wasn't just about money or power. This project was about control. controlling information, controlling resources, even controlling people's lives.
You mean like swaying elections or something? That's really scary.
It goes against everything we believe in, the foundations of our society. And Deborah, she was like a whistleblower. She was threatening to bring their whole house of cards down.
But why would they go so far to shut her up? Couldn't they just, pay her off?
Deborah wasn't about that. She wanted justice. She wanted to expose them. They couldn't buy her or scare her off.
So that's why they made her disappear.
Yep. And they did it so carefully, It took months to unravel the truth. But Deborah was always one step ahead. She knew they were watching her, and she left clues, a trail, for anyone who wanted to find the truth.
This whole thing is like David and Goliath,
Yeah,
Just this normal woman taking on this powerful secret society. It's kind of inspiring, but so sad.
It shows how much courage just one person can have, standing up for what's right, even when the odds are totally stacked against them.
Man, this deep dive has been crazy. So many twists and turns, and it just shows you that sometimes the most dangerous people are the ones hiding in plain sight.
It's a reminder that we always got to be paying attention, questioning things, and remember that anyone can speak up and expose the truth.
If you guys want to see all the evidence for yourselves, check out the full-length video over at True Crime Chronicles AT. It's mind-blowing. But we'll leave you with this. Deborah Hunter might be gone, but what she did, her fight for justice, that lives on.
Stay curious, stay informed, and never stop questioning the world around you.
That's all the time we have for today. Thanks for listening. Remember, the truth is out there.